Have you ever started something but felt like quitting? Or felt overwhelmed with everything you still had to do? What does it take to get through that test or that task? On today's episode of Be the 25, we're talking about 3 things every follower of Jesus needs to do if they're going to finish the assignment God has given them. So if you've been struggling to stay motivated, if you're tempted to quit, or just want to learn how to keep moving forward when things get hard, well, stick around. This episode might be just what you need to get through what God has put before you. And it all starts in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Be the 25 podcast, the place where teens and young adults come to explore how to live the Christian life in a non-Christian world. I'm your host, Dr. Sharon O'Hara. Come join us and get your faith ready for the journey ahead. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Be the 25 podcast, where we help you keep growing and keep going in your faith journey. Before we get started, I want to share some exciting news with you. For a second year in a row, Be the 25 won first place for Best Solo Podcast at the Selah Awards. The Selah Awards recognize excellence in Christian publishing, and we're so honored and humbled to receive this award once again. As exciting as this award is, it really got me thinking about what it takes to finish something that God has put before us. And that's true for so many things in life, whether that's passing a test at school, completing a difficult homework assignment, getting through a hard class or semester, finishing a degree, practicing or training for a sport, finishing projects and tasks that your boss assigns you at work, passing required job training or earning certifications you need for your career, staying consistent with workouts or healthy habits, reading the Bible and praying consistently, going to church when you'd rather sleep in, staying faithful to ministry commitments, starting and continuing to do something God has called you to do. No matter what you're facing, what does it take to keep going and finish well? Well, it takes 3 things. It takes focus, it takes follow-through, and it takes faithfulness. Now let's start with focus. Focus your eyes on the next step, not the whole journey. I learned the importance of this when I hiked the Appalachian Trail. After climbing 5,200 feet to the top of Albert Mountain, I reached a fire tower that overlooked the Nantahala National Forest. Right in front of the tower was a large 100 made out of wooden logs, marking 100 miles completed on the Appalachian Trail. At first, I was very excited. I had just finished my first 100 miles. And then something shifted. I started thinking about everything still ahead. There were still over 2,000 more miles left to go. And just like that, what felt exciting turned overwhelming. Anxiety hit me like a freight train. Sometimes we can feel completely overwhelmed at the magnitude of a task. It looks so large and insurmountable that we often don't know how to deal with it. And if we're not careful, it can paralyze us from moving forward. This is especially true when it's something we've never done before. But there is a way to get through it and keep moving forward. It's focusing your eyes on the next step, not the whole journey. Didn't Jesus say in Matthew 6:34, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." I had to stop and get a grip on my thoughts. I prayed, and in that moment of prayer, I realized the problem was my focus. I was trying to carry the entire hike in my mind all at once. I had to break it down. So instead of thinking about the thousands of miles ahead, I focused on the next short-term goal. And as I did that, I no longer felt overwhelmed. I was able to move forward. I worked my way to Franklin, North Carolina, then to the Nantahala Outdoor Center in Bryson City, then on to Fontana Dam, then through the Smoky Mountains. And slowly, one step at a time, one goal at a time, I kept moving forward until I eventually finished the entire trail and finished what God called me to do. So if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, focus on your next step. Then take the next one, then the next one. And pretty soon, you realize you're making progress without feeling overwhelmed. So it takes focus to finish. And it also takes follow through. Studies show the majority of people give up on goals within weeks. Most podcasters quit after episode 3. And that made me realize something. A lot of people love starting things, fewer people finish them. Whether it's a school project, a season in sports, a ministry commitment, a job, learning an instrument, reading through the Bible, or a project God has placed on your heart, finishing matters. Anybody can keep going when things are easy. But when the excitement wears off, when you don't feel motivated, when you're tired, when you just don't feel like it, that's where most people struggle. Nobody wakes up every day feeling like doing all the things they should do. Athletes don't always feel like practicing. Students don't always feel like studying. Employees don't always feel like going to work or showing up on time. Christians don't always feel like reading their Bible and praying. Young people don't always feel like doing chores at home. Everyone doesn't always feel like doing what they know they should do. Do you know what the Bible says about that? James 4:17 says, "It is sin to know what you ought to do and then not do it." The people who finish aren't the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who know what they ought to do and do it. They don't wait until they feel like it. They keep going even when their feelings aren't cooperating. It doesn't take feelings. It takes follow through. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in the middle of my doctoral program. Surgery, chemo, and radiation treatments left me weak and fatigued. I didn't feel like doing schoolwork, but I did it anyway. Want to know how I finished the next 2 semesters? Well, with God's help, I would get up and work for an hour on schoolwork, then lie down and rest for an hour. Then I'd get up and work for an hour again, and then rest for an hour. Then I'd get up and do it again, and again, and again, until every assignment was complete. I did that for 2 whole semesters. Why? Because God called me to get that degree, and I was determined to get it done with His help. Yes, sometimes we don't feel like it. Yes, sometimes we feel tired. And yes, sometimes we feel like quitting, but we keep going anyway because God's given us something to finish. And God hasn't just given us the assignment, He's also given us His strength. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Whatever God has placed before you to do, He will empower you to do it. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." So if you feel like giving up, keep showing up anyway and finish what God called you to finish. So, finishing takes focus, it takes follow through, and lastly, it takes faithfulness. Success isn't ultimately measured by awards, by applause, recognition, or results. True success is being faithful with what God has entrusted you to do. It's about honoring God with the assignment He's given you, regardless of what it is. Before I launched this podcast, I put out a video talking about the launch and what God was calling me to do. I said this: The most important thing to keep in the forefront of your mind whenever you step out in faith and try to do something big for God is being faithful with the task the Lord gives you to do. Results may or may not reflect that, and that's because results are left up to God. What matters most is that you're found faithful. I want to hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That's all that really matters to me. So we do our absolute best and then leave the results to Him. The reason I said that is because we don't define success primarily by outcomes. We define success by obedience and faithfulness to God. Most people will never receive an award for the things they faithfully do every day, but it doesn't escape God's notice. He sees the student studying. He sees the athlete practicing. He sees the employee showing up and working hard. And He sees the believer faithfully serving Him when no one else notices. For me, faithfulness has looked different in different seasons. Hiking the entire Appalachian Trail, finishing my doctoral degree during chemo treatments, starting and running this podcast. The assignment may change, but the goal remains the same. Be faithful. Faithful to God. Faithful to whatever He places in front of you to do. And sometimes recognitions and awards do come your way, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should certainly celebrate. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be known for awards, accomplishments, or recognition. I want to be known for being faithful to whatever God called me to do. I want to hear those words in Matthew 25:21, "Well done, good and faithful servant," because that's what matters most. So here's the question I want to ask you. What assignment has God placed in front of you right now? It could be something at school. It could be something in sports or work or ministry or something else. Maybe you feel overwhelmed with it. Maybe you feel like quitting. Maybe you've been unfaithful. If so, let's regroup. Get focused. Take the next step, then the next one. Follow through. Don't stop halfway in, and be faithful with the assignment God has given you to do. And that's how you finish what God has put before you. So finish well. Well, that's a wrap for today. Don't forget to visit BeThe25.com. Plenty of resources there to help you on your faith journey. You can also submit your faith-related questions there and win a Be the 25 t-shirt if your question is selected for an upcoming podcast episode. Stay tuned for more stories and discussions that encourage and equip. Have a great week, and remember, keep growing, keep going.